What's up, guys? It's Midget King here with EFSIWorld.com, and in the next couple days, you're going to be seeing me do some interviews with some big-name people. Now, I thought to myself, who would be the best person to get to do the number one first interview that I do? And I thought, my best friend, Holiday Doc, also MLG Shoutcaster. What's going on, buddy?
How's it going? It's on my end it's nice and cool here, but we're about to change that as North Carolina I hear is very warm and humid, as
You,
well as some sort of hurricane is supposed to touch down Saturday while we're
yeah, I
there.
heard about the weather from AFJ actually, who
Yeah.
helps you behind the scenes there at MLG. But when you get to Texas, it's going to be a whole new ordeal for you. I'm just going to let you know that in advance. But anyway, last night I tuned into your podcast, Rage Quit Mondays, which we do have on the site here
Yeah.
at ESFI.
We
Sorry.
had 4,000 viewers tune into that.
Yeah, it was actually a really good discussion. Now, one of the big topics that you guys had was about the League of Legends stream coming and kind of stepping on the toes of Call of Duty a little bit. And I wanted
Yeah.
to get your take on that.
Well, from a business standpoint, it only makes sense. League of Legends draws a huge crowd, much bigger than Call of Duty. Why not ensure your business is going to do well and continue to do well by bringing on a potentially million plus view stream?
You're right. And another thing that like I wanted to kind of jump into the conversation there last night, but it was kind of bouncing all over the place.
Yeah,
And but with the League of Legends stream, do you think that I mean they got 200K viewers on their last event they just did on stream.
that's
Now,
at one time.
yeah, and do
Yeah,
you think that possibly, I mean, these are PC guys. A lot of them might not have had any experience with console side
yeah.
or with FPSs in general because they're RTS players.
Hmm.
Do you think that if the stream is exciting enough whenever Call of Duty comes over, that we might get some overflow of those people watching League of Legends to stay and actually watch a little bit of COD and help our numbers a little bit?
Not even a little bit. I think
You don't think so?
as soon as League of Legends, it's such a different genre. It's a different group of people that follow it. The fan base is so different. You're not going to get the overflow. I think as soon as Call of Duty starts up on the LOL stream when it's done,
They're going back
it,
to StarCraft.
yeah, we'll just go back to StarCraft.
Yeah, I'm hoping that we do see some overflow from that, but it is going to be very difficult with StarCraft having two streams on there as usual.
Yeah.
Uh, but we'll see what happens, I guess.
Not only that, but the StarCraft stream, I'm not sure who's going to be commentating it because a lot of the StarCraft pro commentators are doing other gigs this weekend. So
Really?
yeah.
See, I didn't know that either. But moving on to a new subject.
Okay.
Now, from MLG Anaheim, and this could be a kind of a touchy subject for you. Some people had criticized that they said, you know, you didn't seem as much prepared or enthusiastic as you were in your debut at Columbus.
Yeah.
Now, I know you were having issues with internet, which is always troublesome right before you
Yeah.
go to an event.
3 weeks. 3 weeks I didn't have internet before the last event.
Exactly. Now, coming in, we're only a few days away from Raleigh. What do you have to say to those critics that were, kind of not really bad mouthing you per se, but just had all those criticisms for you going in after Anaheim?
Well, there's the whole behind the scenes that people don't really understand as well. I work roughly 18 hours a day at these events. And when you do that for 3 days in a row, mentally it kind of sets you back too because you don't want to burn up all your energy in the first couple days or first couple streams simply because you don't have somebody to fall back on. We lost our backup guy going into Anaheim. They didn't want to pick somebody up for whatever reason, and they felt that me and Corey, or Corey and I, could handle it throughout the weekend, and it was quite obvious that we couldn't. There's
Yeah.
just too much talking, too much stress on your voice, and anything like that. And I know we're gonna get a lot of hate right there, saying, "Oh, you guys are just talking for that amount of time." I challenge anyone to continuously talk about one subject or one genre of anything for 8 hours and see how your voice and your throat feels after that event. As
Yeah.
as far
Go
as the,
ahead.
the preparation side goes, I've got so much intel on these teams and everything. It's gonna blow people away. I've really done my homework this time, talking to a lot of teams, making sure I'm on top of everything, and make sure that I go into the stream very prepared. I've also bitched and whined to the higher ups to make sure that I have a way to access everything that's going on the pit in the bullpen, where all of the lesser events are going on at the same time, like not the main stage, not the primary stage, just the regular games. I want to be able to get updates on that while we're in the booth, so I have something else to talk about when we have major downtimes.
Yeah, that was definitely. I know whenever I came in to Shoutcast with you on Sunday, that was one thing we were trying to do
Mhm.
was write down. I guess that was Saturday that we did that, but write down. Okay, what happened in this? What happened in this? It would be really beneficial for them to actually update
Yeah,
you guys and say, hey, this team is going up against this team now on feature station.
yeah,
All you're seeing is main stage, and that's all you get to hear about, which a lot of people, as you said, don't know. But it really isn't an easy job. I mean, I was only back there for one match, and
yeah,
and I think I was looking at like 35 different places. It was not an easy thing to do, but it is a fun thing to do.
yeah,
And I congratulate you and I commend you for what you do back there because they know it's not easy. We saw Corey Dunn's voice completely give out, like it
yeah.
just gave out completely. So they had to try to find people to go back there and help you out. So I commend you for being there the whole time. I mean, you pretty much filled that stream the entire time during Anaheim.
Yeah, it was
And
nice though.
yeah, and it was from what I could see was good. And I think that's probably going to be the only positive thing I have about not going to the event this time
Yeah.
is I'm actually going to get to see you on stream the whole time, give you my take on things, which I'm sure will be 99% positive.
Make sure you purchase that gold pass then, bro.
I'm supposed to be getting it for free, but apparently that fell through.
Yeah.
Um, Now, I was going to ask you about how the experience is behind the scenes, but you kind of already touched on that, so I'm not even going to go there anymore.
Hmm.
It's actually a lot more professional back there than what I thought it was going to be. I got
Yeah,
back there, and
it's like a studio, like a
it, it
professional Hollywood studio back there.
it really is. And Nexi, I give that guy a shout out. He does a great job back there as well, and it's fantastic.
But the equipment we have still pales in comparison to what Halo has and what StarCraft is about to have. Like there's some shit coming out that I wish I had hands-on access to. I wish I could provide my stream with that same sort of thing, but hopefully I've gathered enough YouTube commentator support that Friday will be so big in numbers that they'll actually come to me and listen to me with some of my marketing ideas to get this popular enough so we can create a much more entertaining experience as well.
Yeah,
Because everything costs money.
I really like the fact that you had put a call out to the community last night and it called those big name YouTubers out and were like, "Hey, we need help. The COD stream is not doing as well as what MLG wants it to do. You guys are big fans of the game. Come out and support us.
Mm-hmm.
Send people our way. Have them come watch." And
Yeah.
and I thought that was a really good idea last night. So I'm hoping that pays off. Moving into a new subject
Okay.
now. We kind of caught wind after seeing Sundance on another podcast for a long time talking about MLG in general and where it's going to and what we can expect. And he kind of hinted, now we don't know if it's true. You and I have talked about this before. We
Mm-hmm.
don't know if it's 100% true, but this new season format that they're talking about next year, where they want to break it up into 4 different seasons, having 4 main live events and playing everything
Yeah.
else online. What are your thoughts on that, and how do you think it's going to affect the game if it actually does come to light?
See, there's give and take to that, right? Um, Companies and marketers love the live events for the sponsorship placements. Online stuff, it's much more difficult to attain those sponsorships and marketing ideals and everything because there's not as much room for it to all go down at the same time, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Um, if we move to that format, we'll have more participants, but we'll have a lot more issues. Like if you've ever played Call of Duty online, I think like 60% of matches played are all gone to disputes. So that'll just create a much larger hassle for people. Also, connection in the United States is so varied, and with Call of Duty being such a host dominant game, I don't think it's a good idea to send more of our competition to the online side of things. I need to think, if anything, we need to make smaller, more localized events happen and make it an actual circuit. Do 10 to 15 events but just have them more localized and have conferences. And I think that would be better.
Yeah, I didn't really think about it that way with, moving onto land off of land, which is what everybody loves about the events
Hmm.
is the fact that you have that land connection and you're no longer
Yeah,
bitching about host. Like
except you.
it's just 100%, it's your skill or nothing.
Yeah.
And did you say except you? Anyway, um no, but I don't really know how I feel about it yet. I mean, events are really expensive. They're a blast to go to, and if you can get out to one, definitely do it. But they are getting really expensive. It is hard to go to
Yeah,
everyone
it's
every
hard
every
for a
single
player
time.
or a spectator. It's hard to go to, but for an MLG aspect, Anaheim paid for itself from the spectators. I think twice over. They had 20,000 people roll through those gates and watch the event throughout the weekend. If that's any indication of how we're growing, that shouldn't make them limit the number of live events. If anything, it should make them create more. Like I think we should be going to Anaheim twice a year. I think we should be going to the Midwest twice a year. I think we should be going down to the southern states twice a year. And it just doesn't happen. And time constraints, obviously, it takes a lot to move the equipment around from event to event to event. But ultimately, if we want to create a more esports recognized brand, what better way to start going to more places or smaller places and attracting people that potentially might not be able to go to this event, but they could go to these other three because they're closer, yada yada yada. So,
Yeah, I kind of have mixed feelings on both sides of that. I
mm-hmm.
mean, more events means pretty much it would mean I can't compete anymore at all, which I guess I'm kind of leaning towards anyway, but I see
But
how that goes.
yeah, but that's where the conferences come into play. You don't have to play in all the West Coast conferences. You can try to go to all the Central conferences or the Eastern conferences, and then the top teams from those conferences now get to compete in the final two events or the finals invite only like they used to do. So, like you said, there's good points and bad points for everything you look at.
Yeah, we definitely have a long way to go before we get to that sort of take in the MLG scene, but I guess we're gonna see what happens. We'll keep playing it out this year as we've been doing, and still have fun whenever we get to go to the events and do our thing. But
Absolutely.
we'll see how it goes. Now, I know that you have several projects in the making. Is there anything new coming from you that you might want to share with us that's coming in the works?
HolidayDoc.tv is kind of going to be my new home, my home away from home, if you want to call it. I'm still going to be focusing on YouTube, but I want to move away from exclusive YouTube stuff and do more live shows. Do what I wish I could do at MLG, but from my home community. And HolidayDoc.tv is going to allow me to not only stream up and coming teams, but do live AM team tournaments for myself. Just showcase them for people I think need to deserve to get out there, but also some other secret stuff that we're still obviously working on. Corey Dunn hopefully decides to join me on the show as well, and it's all going to be streamed by Twitch, Twitch.tv, but it'll all be placed on HolidayDoc.tv, which will have a bunch of other stuff on it as well. You can kind of tune in, check local tournaments, and hopefully I'll be able to cover everything.
Yeah, definitely. It's good stuff. I mean, I like the little shortening of the name that you have there,
Mm-hmm.
HDTV. I thought that was kind of
Yeah.
just a chuckle that I got from that. But
HolidayDoc.tv, HDTV. Yeah.
as you heard from Doc, be on the lookout for Holiday Doc TV. I know I kind of know what you have in mind for that, and I think it's going
Yeah.
to turn out great. It's going to be good for the community. I really hope that it takes off. I don't want to sit here and take up your time. I mean, we've been talking for probably about 10 or 15 minutes now, I think.
Yeah.
But any last plugs that you want to do before we go ahead and sign out of here?
Not really. You can always catch me on Twitter. Best way to get a hold of me as well, because I read Twitter all day long. And it's NB Holiday Doc. Really simple.
That's right. MB Holiday Doc, thank you so much for being here, Doc. I really appreciate you being my first interview.
No
It's been
problem.
fun.
Yep.
Keep checking back at ESFIworld.com. I'm going to have some great interviews coming up here in the next couple days, so I hope you guys keep tuning back into me. I'm signing out. It's been great talking to Doc. I'll catch you guys later.